I bet you never saw this one coming. Welcome to Feed the Trolls. And look what we did. JL is in the mix with Thorin. And I mean,
Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Duncan.
Listen, he just got married recently, so logically he's forging new partnerships. You know, he's becoming a different type of man. So who knows? Maybe we're all turning over a new leaf for now.
Do you know what's insane? Yeah, but you know what's insane? When we had Bubsky on the show for the first time, which I think was like all the way back in like episode 25.
Oh, sure.
And everyone was so shocked that Bubsky was on the show with Thorin. And I was like, you know what I have to do next is get JL on the show.
Okay, that was your mission, was it? Okay.
It was my mission. And what
I
a lot of people...
this, but all right.
I didn't tell Thorin. I just went ahead. Okay. I DM'd JL, and then he left me on red up until now.
Oh, I see. That's how it is. At the time, you have to understand, he was a really big pro player at the time. He was in NAVI and everything. So, you know, he was probably just too big time for you. Now he's got all sorts of time to reply. We know that works, isn't it? Mate? You know.
I mean, I'm not grinding 12 hours a day, so I can check the DMs.
Okay, fair enough.
Now I finally check the DMs. You know, that was what happened.
You could tell, to be fair, from the games, but, you know, let's not start on a bad listen. Let's just put all that to one side and have a great, productive conversation, shall we?
He had it prepared.
He was ready for you. So the plan is today to actually just talk about how pros engage with the media, with fans online, obviously the trolls. That's what we want to talk about. If you're watching and you're not quite sure what we're joking about here because you've lived under a rock, there's been some ongoing banter between Thorin and JL for a while now on X. And I'm curious because I tried to figure out where this started, but then I got to like 2023 of the two of you going at each other, and I just gave up. So how did this start? JL, you can from your mind.
Let's see his perspective. Come on.
Okay, first of all, it started from him trash talking Bimas, another fellow Lithuanian player.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't remember what you said, but I do remember what I replied. I put a clown face on Twitter, and I just said, every time Thorin tweets, that's how he looks, or something along those lines. And that's the start.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, first of all, I have no idea what his connection to BMAS is. Like, I'm not one of those people where I'm like, oh, you got the same flag as me. We are like brothers or something. So whatever. What happened is BMAS one time tried to get cheeky. I think it was after I did that Fallen tweet during like the NAVI Major. And BMAS tried to like flame me, but on like the wackest angle, like, you got the bronze coin. And I was like, who gives a fuck about that, mate? So obviously after that, when he lost his job in Mouse, and spoiler, a lot of people listening to this episode now aren't aware there even was a player called BMAS. He didn't have a career after that, unfortunately. That was sort of the end of him in tier 1. You know, again, I'm trying not to make the obvious jokes here. Insert the jokes that you would write there. But basically, as I've always said to everyone, listen, if someone does something publicly, I'll clap back publicly. So yeah, it's true. I didn't know that was why, but then he did do a tweet where it was like, every time Thorin tweets, clown emoji. Now here's the joke, Sam. Again, I'll try really hard to make it just historical, not too much banter. But the reason why it only goes back to 2023 is because who the fuck was jailed before 2023? Again, just some guy who was not as good AWPer as he thought he was, trying to play another team.
Bro, AWPer is crazy. I never tried to be an AWPer.
That's not what Cuban told me. He told me he wanted to be the AWPer in like Mad Lions or whatever. But it's okay, mate. I've already got all the inside connections and remember everything. Let's see how your brain works. So anyway, but that's true. He does rifle now anyway. But anyway, I just thought, who the fuck's this guy? So you actually will notice I didn't clap back immediately though. I did actually wait a little bit because here's the other thing. I've actually always said this. One of the mistakes I used to make, this will be relevant to this episode back in the day, is I did do that mistake where I was the guy where like, if I'm the elephant, any little guy who shot a little dart at me, I would just go back at them immediately and I would even like quote tweet. And what I realized is, first of all, there's an infinite number of random people who take shots at you online. And then also, it's actually, you do, if you give them, when they're nobody, if you give them validation, in a sad way in the modern day, they sort of win. Like back in the day, it would have been cool. You clap them as some big figure. Actually, in the modern day, just because they get the recognition that you saw their comment, it got to you and you reply. In a weird way, the trolls actually win when you do that. Unfortunately, it is better to generally ignore them. So my rule I made was, you have to actually be a top player before I'll really go back and forth with you. So I'll give him credit. You'll notice if you look when I actually started tweeting, it was when he started to get pretty good, and then he had the Apex run and all that, and then they had NAVI come along. Obviously, NAVI, they were doing really well, they were mega. So then, yeah, we can go back and forth, and I'll even add a tiny detail in here, which I think is relevant to this story, which is, even though we have never, ever done this, I have said many times, if people ever wanted, by the way, to make this like wrestling, You could just DM me. We could agree to go like back and forth and have like a banter. We've never actually done that, but I think in a weird way, I'd be interested to see what he thinks on this. I think JL sort of gets that though, because even though he's tried to get a little bit edgy, he's never actually gone over the big lines where I will wreck you. Like I've alluded to some stuff before we did this episode. I know some certain things about his life and the circle he's in that I could be mean and reveal and make him look bad. But as long as no one fucks with me in my personal life, we just keep it all like, these are the public figures, a shot back and forth, make it a little bit fun, put a joke in there.
It is fun.
Then I think it's cool. I actually think, by the way, I think it actually adds to the event, etc. I think it's way cooler if someone, like, by the way, it's basically like what everyone loves about Apex, so like fuck you to the crowd and stuff. I think that adds to the sort of atmosphere of the event.
When did it become fun for you, JL? Because I've never seen.
The beginning.
Yeah, like Thorin's never. I've never seen you and Thorin get mean. I think you just sort of. I mean, you're mean, but in a funny way, right?
Yeah, it's always banter. It was never personal. Maybe sometimes. I mean, I think one comment I didn't really get to me, but it's.
Come on.
What was the word? I can't remember. I can't put it word for word. But it's like pig shit. I'm like, no way. I cannot be that dumb.
Oh right, thick. Oh, that's a slang in English. You say you're thick as pig shit means that you're really stupid because obviously pig shit be really hard to stir or something, wouldn't it? So that just means you're really stupid, basically.
That got to me. Maybe.
Okay. Why did that specifically get to you?
I don't know. It's because
there's a lot of pig farming going on in Lithuania. What's the reference?
Because usually when people go at me, they go for, oh my god, he's a fake persona or he's playing so ass, and then you pick the one random thing that no one's ever doubted, and then it's like, oh, fake pig shit. I'm like.
Oh, no, here's the thing as well. Even though I did imply you're stupid, look, mate, I'm not going to give you a fucking live, like, Myers-Briggs test or fucking IQ test, Dave. I don't think you'd get, like, A+, so let's not get crazy. You're obviously not a total idiot, though. You can play the game, etc. I always do say, this is where I think I'm being quite clever, I always do say, though, that actually an interesting thing about Counter-Strike, because you're really good in clutches is, that's not actually about being a super mega genius. Sometimes it's about, like, having good nerves, or, like, figuring out just the next move. So I think I'm really good at putting this with, like, the backhanded compliment, too. Like, I've always complimented your game. I just do imply it's like that's all you're good at in life. There you go. Over that angle, innit? I can't believe that one comment on pig shit's the one that got to you. Not when I said your head's massive, like the fucking Easter Island statues or something. I thought that'd be more hurtful.
You know what surprised me most about you is no matter how dumb you look on the internet, you do know CS, like a lot of it.
Okay.
Like
clip that.
Insides.
Clip it.
Hey. Yeah, you do understand. I feel like you talked a lot with players and you kind of try to understand them.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, a couple of things, because clutching is not about being the biggest brain. It is more about dealing with pressure, and maybe if you don't have many thoughts in your head, maybe you're just going to be a little bit better than the other person.
Yeah. By the way, I'm not even joking. What you said at the end there, that's actually not even supposed to be a diss. I think it also goes the other way. Bro, I think some of the people who chalk the most are like super intelligent people who way overthink everything. And they're all getting affected by, oh, what happens if I lose this round, or the crowd, or all my haters. I think those people are the ones who fucking fuck up all the games and get losing the clutch. I think you can overthink things.
Yeah, but when I'm in the clutch, I'm like, okay, let me win this round. I want to just look at the camera for a second.
Yes, here's the thing, GL. I'll never accuse you of overthinking. Anyway, here's the problem. This episode's just going to be like this, isn't it, Sam? I know, I'm trying my hardest, but it just keeps coming out. It's natural.
You're a good speaker, though.
It's true. It's also why, by the way, I'm not even joking. It's actually also, that's why it works better if we do banter over Twitter, because the best thing about Twitter is it's not actually time dependent.
Yes.
You can sit back and think up a good reply, or wait, I won't put that because what if they reply like this? I don't say this to be mean. First of all, it's not his first language, English. And obviously, I've been on the internet a long time doing a lot of like impromptu discussions. I'm not being mean when I say this. Like, there's a reason a lot of these people don't just come at me on shows. On shows, they're always really polite. Because I have probably my biggest skill is like off the cuff, just immediately responding. Whereas to craft a really good response does take some time. I do some shit tweets too, don't worry.
I was about to say, also saying all of that, there was a pre-moment, because normally I just hit record and JL was like, oh, we're going to chat a bit. And the two of them went at each other. And I kind of wish I'd recorded that because they just got straight into the Twitter.
It's all right.
You missed all of that. That'll always be my joyful thing that I got to have. But the whole conversation...
By the way, that's a real thing as well. Look, I'm not going to try and encourage people to do this. I mean, first of all, I don't bloody go to the events either, mate, so don't worry, it probably never happen. But you know, one of the ones that does bother me online is where those little dickhead fans will go, you'd never share that to him in real life. It's like, mate, it's the other way around. None of these players who half the time are like 21-year-old, like nerd guys just going in a video game. They're not coming up to me at events going crazy at me like Conor McGregor or something. Because guess what? They're actually intimidated. I'm actually like an adult man that's been in the industry for 20 years.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. I'm going to cut you off there. Intimidating. That's a bit overboard. Not intimidating.
You haven't seen me in real life yet, mate. Let's see, homie. Listen, don't get fucking squirmish, you know.
You're 40
leap
years
over.
old. Come on, Duncan.
Yeah,
You're
tell you
40.
what, mate. Listen, mate. I'll roll back the years for you, son. I'll be like George Foreman or something. Don't even worry about it.
This is going to be the
Yeah,
entire
no, of course.
episode. Yeah, I mean, so the whole point was actually just to talk about how professional players deal with media, deal with the trolls online. And I mean, I want to kind of take it back. This is a bit more of a serious conversation, I suppose. But I mean, JL, for you, obviously you had Thorin going at you for a while. And then you had everyone saying that your first major win was a fluke. That went on for a good while with everyone. And then suddenly... Yeah, there we go. I mean, actually, screw my question. How did you feel when everyone was saying it was a fluke? Like, did it sting a little bit?
No, I mean, I understand it's kind of a running thing. Now it's more of a joke than it is. But once we won the major, people are saying it's a fluke. And we beat generally good teams. We beat, quarterfinal was not the established team that it was back then. But then we beat G2 and then we beat FaZe, who were one of the favorites to win the tournament.
I think they were number 1 ranked in the world, yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, of course, we could have got lucky, but we still won the game. It's not... I mean, we did a solid run.
Yeah. By the way, I'll also point out, I would never accuse you of having a fluke run, because you were actually the MVP of the major. The difference is, I think it's other factors, like you had a low T-round win percentage, some other players had some bad stats that we won't mention. But I know what you mean. Like, put it this way, the problem with that topic is, if you're the team that wins, you should never think it was a fluke. You won the games. It's up to other people how they want to determine that.
Yes, and we won the first map. I feel like where FaZe fucked up is picking Ancient. Because we were confident on Ancient, and it showed in our stats. And we practiced Nuke against them. We've played Nuke against them before. They always slapped us left and right.
Yeah.
We had no
that was
chance.
even the weak map for NAVI for a long time, yeah.
Yes. And we prepared Nuke, Mirage, and I think it's Inferno. We prepared this for the grand final. And then all of a sudden they pick Ancient.
That's why, though, mate. Don't you think that's why? I think, actually, we were talking earlier about, like, overthinking. I think Carrigan thought what you thought there, like, the least likely map they expect will pick. So he thought he'd, like, ruin your prep because you prepped the other maps. But the joke is he sort of ruined his own prep, it looks like.
Yes.
Like, he fucked his own game up.
If we have a shit nuke, there's no amount of prep that we can do is gonna fix the map. A map doesn't get fixed by 4 hours of prep. So yeah, that was their mistake for sure.
Did it get annoying though? I mean, I suppose that is the question of having to listen to analysts and all the news pundits go on and on about the fluke major win, or on the other side, do you think it kind of fired up the team to then go on and, because that was straight after that, you had that incredible run of victories. Do you think that the negativity fired you up a bit?
In a way, yes. But I don't think we really cared about what the public says. I mean, if you're a pro player, you shouldn't at least take the negative talk and the positive talk. Negative and positive talk should not affect who you are as a person and how you treat your day and how you go on your day-to-day life. But regarding the fluke, we won the major and then we had 2 really bad tournaments afterwards. We had EPL and Dallas. We bombed out very fast. I think we lost to Complexity in the top 16 stage of EPL, and in Dallas we just went 0-2 and 0-3. I don't think we won a single game in Dallas. Yeah. So there was a really shit tournaments, and we had a big discussion of how we want to approach things. Because honestly, for most of us, the major was our first trophy, and I'll be honest, my only goal was to win the major. I mean, I never thought about anything else. Of course, winning the tournaments is kind of the path to winning the major. But then all of a sudden, you win the major. We didn't have great form coming into the major. We had great boot camp, but that's about it. That's all we had going off for each other in the major was having good boot camp. So we weren't really expecting to win the major. It was more of a let's make a deep run and try to win as much games as we can, and then take the losses and learn from them. That was kind of our main goal. But we managed to win.
By the way, here's the thing. Even if someone disses you, goes, it's a fluke that you won that major. Like, you shouldn't really let that bother you, because that's like someone going, oh yeah, your girlfriend's like a supermodel who's a 10 out of 10, but you're ugly. It's like, well, I'm still winning then, aren't I, motherfucker? Like, you can say that, but still pretty good backhanded compliment. I do have that straight fire dime piece, don't I? So I do have this major trophy. That's pretty good. If you got one, that's a pretty good angle. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care about the fluke major. And I mean, it kind of gets annoying to a certain point when it's been like what, a year or something gone, and then I see going to HLTV, read some news, and then I see, oh my god, Navi fluke major or jail worst rated MVP of all time. I'm like, yeah, we had 49% win rate. What do you want me to do? Like, I have 155 rating.
Sure.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't know. I'm happy with the major.
I want to pick on something you said there, because you said like you didn't really listen to what people were saying, but I'm pretty sure if we fast forward now the timeline, obviously you had a bunch of victories coming into the Shanghai Major. I don't have the exact article on hand, but I'm pretty sure you did do an interview, JL, at one point where you said like you felt like you were playing badly because you were starting to listen to a lot of the online commentary that was coming out.
Right.
And you said that it was I think it was just after the Shanghai Major where you said like it was starting to get to you, or maybe it was just before the Shanghai Major.
I think I actually remember this because I think I even used it as the basis of one of my tweets where I was sort of like, oh, do you not like people talking shit about you online? I think I did some angle like that, It's like, it was right there. It was low-hanging fruit. It's all good.
Kick the dog while it's down. Yeah. There we go. That's
the best place. It's right near your feet.
I mean, honestly, I've always read negative comments, and I thought they're not going to affect me at all because I keep reading them. They're kind of here. It's not a new thing anymore.
Sure.
But it gets bigger and bigger, and then you kind of start to overthink it. One comment is not going to affect, but if you read it 10, you read 20, you read 100, and then maybe I'm not that strong-willed anymore. And then you kind of read it, and then you stop reading them because it's affecting you.
Yes.
And then that gets into your head because, okay, wait. Did they affect me? Because now I'm not going on to HL TV anymore. And, so I kind of stopped reading comments. I mean, HL TV for the most part.
I think most pros I've talked to have to do that. Because here's the problem. I know what you mean by that as well. Part of you even wants to be stubborn and go like, hey, like one stupid comment's not going to affect me. But that's true. But I always give this analogy. If you walked down the street and someone randomly said, hey, fuck you, you'd go, who gives a shit who you are? And you keep walking. But imagine you walk down the street and every person said, fuck you, wanker, dick. Eventually you'd be like, shut up, what the fuck? Like, he'll break anyone. I think literally you find me the strongest mental person ever. Like the joke is people hate on people like Richard Lewis and they go, he's so weak. It's like, the other way around, he's so mentally strong. He's withstood like a million negative comments, and then he snaps like once, and it makes him look like he's the idiot and he's the soft one. But I actually do think most pros I know, it's not necessarily that you ignore everything, but you learn to have some level of filter. I think the classic one is you pick the right moment. Like you go and check the comments when you win. You don't do it when you have the big loss or something. You got to pick the right emotional moment to be in to check all that shit. It'll get to anyone, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think after winning, I used to be always going onto HLTV to. I don't know, just read how we're winning, all that stuff. And then once I've stopped reading the negative comments, I kind of stopped reading the positive ones as well. I didn't go into HLTV after wins because if I cannot handle kind of the negative, I don't deserve to read the positive. So I just stopped going down to HLTV. But now I do but even crazy, bro, I've retired. Wait, I didn't retire. I took a break.
Clipping that one.
I took a break for a couple of weeks and there's still like a daily GL thread.
Okay.
That's crazy. But now I can read them, and it doesn't matter to me.
By the way, I actually hope even fans, no troll's going to actually listen to this and take my advice. But anyway, I'll try naively anyway. What I said earlier, that's actually one thing I also wish fans would do, though. It's like, don't just write like, you suck. Do something with it. Make it funny or, have like an angle to it where you can at least in some way enjoy it. Like, put it this way, if someone did make a funny joke about me, I can actually appreciate it even if it's about me. But if it's just like, shit, like, what am I going to do with that? There's nothing there. There's not even any like enjoyment from that, is there?
There are some creative comments. I don't remember them, but you read a hateful comment and then it has like a little twist to it. It made me laugh. That's like I've read your comment. You got your point across, but I also laughed. So we both win.
I'll give you an example. Back in the day when I didn't actually do a lot of on-camera stuff, all I used to do for real, that's why Anakin was the esports historian, is I'd just write these enormous fucking, like, really dry historical pieces about people's careers, where for real I just went like, and then the next tournament he was ranked second, but he lost to the 30th team by having the wrong opening build in StarCraft. And someone once, to satirize me, did like a fucking fake profile where they said I was the highest paid Wikipedia entry writer in the world of esports. That's fucking straight fire. Like that. Listen, even though that's actually sort of dig at me, that's actually a really funny fucking angle. Like, I have to give it up to whoever wrote that. I don't know who it was, but it's a good angle. I like that.
He's got to come clean.
There's someone. He'll let us know in the comments. I do think that's the commenting online thing for me is I'm okay with the mean comments if they're funny. And I know that sounds ridiculous.
By the way, I'm saying this seriously. Everyone gets mean comments, don't they? Shocks gets them. Everyone does. What do you get? People being mean to you, poking at you?
I get people being mean to me, but also like sometimes they're mean about like there's weird shit that you can't really. There's nothing you can do about. So if someone's like, "Oh, you're an ugly bitch," you're like, "Well, okay." Like I can't fix that.
But okay.
Like if you said XYZ and I'm questioning your knowledge because of like this is actually what happened, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like I can learn from that. But if you're just like you're ugly, I'm like, it's cool. What can you do? But I did have someone call me stupid once, and I loved the way they did it because they were like, she reminds me of a porn star if porn stars were really dumb. And at the time I read
There's
it,
so much going on there. I can't
so
even
much going on. Didn't understand it, but for some reason I was like, I'll take it. Like, it was funny, and I was like, then I was okay with it. So
I mean, that's what porn stars say too.
Yeah, probably. But like, I do think you got to have a little bit of humor. I'm curious though, because this is something that also happened recently at PGL Astana, which I kind of loved, was that we had a player on the desk, Magix from Team Spirit.
Sure.
And in the middle of the interview, he turns to Maui and he calls Maui out for something Maui had said on a YouTube video.
It was on Snake and Banter or something, I think,
Yeah, and it was super live where he was like, why did you say X, Y, Z? And at the time, Maui didn't even remember what he had said because he said so much stuff.
It was right, though. I can confirm I was there. Magix did actually call him out correctly, but Maui played dumb or something, didn't he? Pretended he didn't know what he was referring to.
I don't actually think he even pretended dumb. I think Maui legitimately could not remember what he said, because when the camera went off him, he was quickly trying to check on Twitter.
Right.
Because he actually couldn't remember. But I really enjoyed that. And I wonder why it doesn't happen more often. And I'm curious. I mean, Jael, you were always pretty good at bantering and being open to talk in interviews and communicate more. Do you think for most players it is just either one, they just don't know how, or two, maybe being a little bit younger, you're in the team, you kind of don't want to speak out and be a bit cheeky and have a bit of fun?
I mean, okay. I mean, there are two angles you can take. But some of them want to be responsible, to be kind of the professional athlete, always correct. Not always correct, but always in check with their manners, the way they communicate, the way they answer. I mean, all esports athletes have some kind of role models. Not like idols, but someone they look up to, somebody they saw. And that's where they get their manners and the way they speak from. But I feel like esports should not be a place where we become too professional. It should be more of a banter, should be some jokes. Analysts and players never get along. I mean, there's a reason for that. Most of the analysts are talking shit. Most.
And also sometimes they're predicting against you, or they're saying something like, they've seen a demo and they're like, you're going to do this, but in scrims, you don't do that. There's all. By the way, we know we don't know everything. That's an obvious angle, but players always get mad about it, of course.
Yeah, I mean, because
some of them are shit too. Hopefully, present company excluded, but you never know.
Analysts always love to seem right. I've seen so many analysts, and they would have this crazy idea, and then they would get called out on it, and then they would still hammer it in, and then people start believing it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Scandalous, isn't it? It's outrageous.
Very scandalous.
Do you know what is so funny for me, though? So I'm about to, I don't know if I should actually let people know this, but who cares? I won't say who the analysts are, but I have been on a desk before where there's been two analysts, and one of them has felt, say, for example, really strong about taking the pro NAVI angle into a game. And the other analyst is super pro NAVI, but realizes that if both come in that strong, it's going to make for a weak game. And that analyst will change their opinion. So they will come on the desk and completely be not against NAVI, but take the other side and sort of start questioning the other analyst to create a more interesting show. But then they'll come off and just be like, there'll be so much hate. And like Jael, like you said, saying, analysts don't know what they're talking about. They were so wrong. But the person who did that opinion actually didn't even necessarily believe it. They were just trying to create a dynamic where people would start talking. So a lot of the time, it's not that analysts always think they're right. Sometimes they're literally saying things. Maybe they don't even support what they're saying, but they're just trying to create a good show. Okay. That has happened. I've seen it happen a few times.
No,
so
it's definitely the case. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, so I always
even
feel
with
bad
predictions,
sometimes.
I can tell you, some people don't want it to be that all three analysts gave the same prediction. Some people think one should go for the other team or so. By the way, I don't really agree with that, but I guess to be fair, it does actually play into the idea. It's a bit like wrestling. You're doing kind of a fake character on some level. I don't know how I feel about that totally.
I mean, it is a show. They're trying to make a show, and they're trying to make it interesting for the viewer. I mean, I kind of agree to it, but as an analyst, you kind of carry the weight of your predictions and the weight of your words throughout your career. So if 1 week you're supporting NAVI and the other you're not supporting NAVI, and you're kind of changing your narrative based on the way that other people are expressing themselves on the show, does that make you a true-to-yourself analyst?
And by the way, also, I would say in that case, if they're getting hate, well, it's their own fault. They're fucking, I'm saying the opposite of what my opinions are, and people are hating on me, but I secretly don't think that. Like, fucking hell, mate, what do you want people to do? Read your mind. Like, that sounds totally fair.
To be fair, the analysts that I'm thinking of, there's like 2 or 3. They don't really care. They just want to make a good show. So I mean,
name them so we can all hate on them then.
No, I don't want to hate on them. I like them. They're my favorite. Some of them are my favorites. I can't. Do that.
Sure. Okay.
But I do wonder, like, how aware are pro players when it comes to like, obviously we'll talk about analysts first and then we can go into like media, but how aware are they that like sometimes we also have to, I suppose, I don't want to say blow stuff up for effect, but maybe go hard on a particular point, even if it doesn't seem like such a big deal to the team, right? I mean, do players realize that it is part of the job and we're just trying to create a show and that's to get more people to watch you ultimately? Or do players just not watch the analysts at all, so it doesn't matter?
I doubt. I doubt players understand that they're blowing things out of proportion for just the effect of the show or effect of the stream. I feel like players do believe what the analysts are saying, and that's why we avoid analysts in general. I feel like whenever you watch this segment before the game, pre-match, like after the match, all these talks are mainly focused about a couple of things, like the players and the way the team's playing. And if the favorite won, they're going to hammer in on the favorite because they're failing. It's never about the underdog. It's more about what gets the most ears locked into the stream or the most eyes peeled onto the screens. So that's what I hate about the most. And kind of Navi's, it used to be one of the more talked about teams.
Sure.
And, like pre-match for me, like imagine playing whatever we played, any tournament. We went to the playoffs and there's like 20 minutes before the game, there's a pre-match or map 2 talks just before. There's like 15 minutes of analysts talking, and we would have the TV in our preparation rooms. And if you unmute it, it's like always hammering on us. They were always talking shit about us. And it's not about the enemy team. It's always about us. And it pissed me off so hard. We would always mute the TV.
Sure. By the way, there is one aspect to that. I'll actually give you an example to make it less abstract. I actually think a classic thing that the analyst desk always blows up, because it's the ultimate thing to make like interesting drama about before the game, is if anyone vaguely seems like they trash talk someone on the opponent, or the one that I know the teams get pissed off. This happened to you guys, Navi, is when people do the clip of the coach in the timeout, and like that one where fucking Alexi B was telling Emma to shut up or whatever. People always blow that up way bigger than it is. That was probably like a 2-minute thing, but people made that like, oh my God, does he not believe in Alexi B? Wow, is Emma going to get kicked? Like they were making some giant drama out of that. But again, we've got to do something on the pre-show, haven't we? You know, does that bother teams when that shit comes out though?
It doesn't bother me because I mean I wasn't involved. I've never been involved in such clip. Yeah, it did kind of bother us. I'll be honest, because it's not the truth, and it's only like one round. That happened one round. Of course, the game we're all a bit on our toes, on the edge. I don't remember what kind of game it was, to be honest, and who we played against. But I do remember the game being a bit too stressed. We were not playing as our usual selves, and Alex B noticed that, and then he said, "Let's keep it down a little bit." And then, of course, the clip got blown out of proportion, and that's how things happen in the esports world and any world. To be honest, it's not just esports. People want to talk about negative things, and they want to push this negative agenda forward.
Also, by the way, I do think in general we're all a bit unfair on that shit. Like, that is literally a Finnish guy speaking to a fucking Romanian guy with like 1 second to spare. He hasn't got like a whole time to sit down and go, listen, couples counselling. I didn't like the way that you talked over me. He hasn't got time. He has to go, hey, shut the fuck up and try to call this strat. Like, that's not even a big deal. People did blow that one up way too much. But it was spicy. It was spicy, honestly.
It was spicy.
It was.
Does it get to teams though? Because I mean, this is something like maybe there is no drama in the team. Maybe like we see something and we blow it up. Then does it affect the team sometimes? Because suddenly the whole of social media and HLTV is going on and on about it, and maybe there's a player suddenly going, "Hold on, like maybe I should be getting upset about this." Actually, now that I've read all these tweets, like maybe you shouldn't have done that. Has that ever happened to you, JL?
I mean, it happened to me once personally. One thing got blown out of out of proportion. I'm not sure if I'll talk about it. The game we didn't shake hands with Xantares. For me, honestly, now that I look back at it, it wasn't ego or I don't know. I felt bad because at first I laughed, but then afterwards, I don't know. Maybe it was due to my ego being a little bit too fragile. I wasn't too confident in myself, and then somebody disrespected me. Oh, he hates me. Or I don't know. I kind of figured that one out, but I can't put it into words because I don't understand it too much. But now, if I look back at it, if someone did that to me now, of course I would shake their hand. It's a game. Like, no one cares besides you. And the amount of hate I got for it was crazy, actually. But I would, if I truly believed in not shaking his hand, I would still do it again. But it's not about the hate. It's more about me understanding that I was weak in that scenario. I was the weak weak point. It's not about his action. It was about my reaction afterwards.
By the way, did they win that game? Is that the thing?
Yeah, they did.
Ah, right, okay. Because, by the way, if it's the other way around, like say someone trash talks you and you beat them, I've got a little tip for you. Here's like a next level banter checkmate chess move, right? What you do is if you beat them and they trash talk you, you might not want to shake their hand because they go, oh, fuck this guy, I've just beat your hand that you talk shit on me. What you do is you go over and you shake their hand. You do the really firm handshake and you just lean in and go, you played the best you possibly could. And then you walk away like
Wow, that's horrible.
That's some mind games. That's how you really get in a fucker's head.
That is messed up. That is quite good.
I mean, that is good. I probably wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I love banter, but that's a bit...
sure. You know. It's a bit anime, sure.
I mean, honestly, about talking trash, I understand talking trash before the game. Because then there's some stakes on it. But once you won, if you talk trash, you're the dickhead.
Yeah.
Before the game, I agree.
That's quite a classy way of looking at it, though, because I do think a lot of people miss, especially young players miss that. Like, once you've won, like, you can shut up. You've done the talking.
You can be a good winner. Right? You can be graceful, can't you? Yeah.
I think you should be an asshole before because it's fun and I enjoy watching the trash talk, but be a graceful winner after that.
Then there's, because if you talk trash before the game, there are some stakes to it. You have something to lose. If you lose, you look like a complete moron. Yes. But if you win, you talk your trash and you walk the walk. But so that's why I never talk trash after the game. I used to banter before the game, but I stopped doing that. I actually enjoyed it. That gave me a lot more... some pressure playing the game, actually winning the game. I
also think it does for fans increase the stakes. It makes it cooler. Yeah.
I think people enjoy it. But why did you stop?
I don't know.
Wasn't winning the game anymore, was he?
That's true, but I felt like a dickhead actually. Like people were not bantering back.
All right, okay.
Like whenever I would banter G2, I would banter them as a whole team. They would never talk back. Like none of them made that tweet. So right. I felt like the dickhead.
Just feels like you're bullying him at that point in time.
Yes, I mean we did win 9 times in a row.
True, yeah, true. By the way, I will also say as well, that's even why I actually think if analysts and players do it right, it adds a bit of spice to the event. How many times, even though I've never ever said he was bad at the game or that his team sucked, do you know how many fucking times, if he ever had like a +20, every dickhead fan was tagging me like, what now, Thorin? look at this, what now? It's like, I haven't even said anything about that, but it was obviously the stakes mattered for the fans too. They like that. They like a bit of spice before the game, for sure.
They do.
They say that though, but then I've started to see this like change in narrative where fans are now saying that it's too much and it's unprofessional. And that's kind of
get the fuck out to Valorant and League of Legends, any little bitches.
That's one thing. I'm always like, do you play this game?
Yes.
Like,
we're shooting people in the head with AKs and teabagging them, and we're terrorists. What are you talking about? They're like, it's a bit too much though. Saying he sucked after the game. Like, fucking hell. All right, Grandma.
Let's talk about that. I mean, I'm curious because the thing that comes up a lot is with top teams, this idea of media training. But I mean, JL, so you come in. Did you get media training? Is that something that's actually because
is that a real question?
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking because I've interviewed enough players where I was like, if they got media trained, they were not paying attention during those.
Yes,
lessons.
Exactly. Yeah, he was on his phone playing Snake.
I don't think anyone's have been media trained, have they?
Right. I think some Americans probably had, if I had to guess. Like big American orgs maybe would do that sort of thing, you know.
Maybe. I mean, NAVI has always been an org with questionable interviews.
Sure.
It's true. It is true. Do you think it would help, though? Do you think it would help if orgs did media training for players? Do you think it would bring... if you look back, do you wish that you had someone sort of sit you down before everything happened, before you win a major, kind of giving you an understanding of how to deal with, say, analysts or journalists or anything like that?
No, I wouldn't want that. I want to learn myself. I think that's the best way possible because you're not taking a path of somebody else's. You're taking your own path, and I'll treat the media how I want to treat it. I'll give the answers that I want to give, and if they're a bit controversial, so be it. I'll learn. I'll get backlash. People will say I'm a dickhead. I'll learn, and sometimes I'll say a good thing, and it won't be media trained. So sure. I don't know. I like learning things through my own way of learning.
Two things. One, mad respect to him. He likes to learn himself, so he really likes a challenge. And two, obviously, if you think of the old days, especially in NAVI, like, mate, you couldn't have given media training to, like, Peak Simple when he was, like, the shit. Mate, that guy would have just said what he wanted anyway. He was flaming his own teammates after the game. He was crazy.
I remember. I think when Sam Dayang joined, I remember a Simple interview. It was like, oh, yeah, he played trash, but you know.
So nuts in it, Anna. So
okay.
Like, come on, bro.
I mean,
I kind of...
Yeah? Go on.
No, I mean, you could chat. I was just say that's like, I lived for that as a fan. Like, those are always my favorite moments. Like, I just think that that's what makes it really fun. I don't want that super dry, super serious. You know, we played the best we could, but they were better, and that was great. Thank you. You know, shout out to the fans. Goodbye. I don't care. Like, say something.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah. Say something controversial. Be a bit cheeky. Give me something fun to work with.
I've actually learned that people don't care about these messages like, we've played a really good tournament, we lost in grand final, 1-3 against Mouse Sports. Thank you all for your support, and we'll come back stronger. I've never really, I mean, I could put out a couple of tweets like this, but I always made it into a joke or something they could smile about or something to look forward to. But I don't know, I get tired of seeing these tweets, to be honest. Like, if I want to put out a sad tweet, I'll do it. If I want to make a happy tweet, I'll do it. But I'll make sure not to put out the most default one, because people don't really care.
Sounds too political, I think. You just sound like a politician saying what people want to hear, isn't it? Like, oh, sorry, guys, I'm really bad. Like, when you lose a game, you're more mad you lost the game yourself. You don't really give a fuck about some random person who's just on the internet.
I hate when people say sorry, guys. I hate it. I think players should stop doing that, because it's not your responsibility to satisfy thousands of other people. Just make sure you're satisfies yourself with the result, and then just move on. Don't say sorry.
Here's my controversial take on this, though, because I do think that we are a generation that we require attention sometimes to make ourselves feel better. So in moments of sadness or whatever, we go online and we try and seek that validation. And I sometimes wonder,
people to pity you, you mean, right?
Yeah, because I sometimes wonder, players, like, the team plays badly. We've all seen them play badly. And then at the end of the tournament, or once they're knocked out, a player will come in and go, I'm so sorry. We just didn't play our best. We really let you down. And then the replies are all, you'll never let us down. You're our favorite. We adore you. Don't worry. You'll come back stronger. And sometimes I wonder if it's a need. You know, you're in a hotel room all alone, and you're kind of like, oh, if I do this, like, you get this response that makes you feel a little bit better. And that seems like such a terrible thing to say. But the person that's in my mind is Major all the time, because every time they get knocked out, he does
he writes a fucking novel, doesn't he? I know it's mad.
And then Thorin always calls him out. But like, I've seen that a million times. But there is a part of me that goes, okay, but how many times are you going to say sorry? Shout out to my fans. Like, it's cool. But I sometimes worry that it's because you need everyone now to be like, it's okay. I don't know. Like, I'm psychoanalyzing someone, and I probably shouldn't.
It's a good angle.
It makes a good point, but as a player, I think it's not more of you need the validation, but it's more of the pressure is getting to you, because Turkish fans are crazy. I'll tell you that.
Sure.
That's true. That is true.
My own taste. And I feel like even Turkish fans, as much as they talk shit to other people, I feel like they also talk shit to their own players.
Yes.
So, I mean, they do get to you. Like, I had some crazy comments on my wife's profile, like crazy comments.
It'll be like, I'll kill you, all sorts of ridiculous stuff.
Worse.
Sure.
Kill you is very simple. That's just 3 words. They would write like actual novels of, I want your first baby born to get cancer, and then he gets like this ill disease, and then it kind of spreads to your whole family. I hope your whole family tree dies. I'm like, what? He actually took time to figure out.
I know.
To figure out the biggest bullshit idea, and he sends it to my wife. Like, send it to me.
That's fucked too. True. By the way, that's actually a story I've told before, but it's like 10 years old now, so I'll say it again. That was one of the things, believe it or not. Like, here's the secret if you don't know, Sam. I've never talked to you about this topic. You know, publicly online, obviously, I'm supposed to be the biggest hater of Fallen ever. By the way, just because I think he's overrated for the last like 6 or 7 years. He was a mega player years back. And then 1.6, he was a really skilled player even. But what people don't know is, in real life, I actually have quite a good relationship with him. He's asked me to come and have drinks with him loads of times. We never talk about the game. We're talking about, you know, like life, and what it's like. He's a really, if you don't know, he's quite a worldly guy. He obviously lived quite a long time. So one of the funny things is, one of the things that made me realize exactly this topic, that we can have like public animosity, or online we can talk shit about results and stuff, but it can be different in real life. I used to feel like that about his fans, a bit like with the Turkish Eternal Fire Aurora fans. I used to think, well, it's not just that you're playing bad, but your fans are always fucking hating on me, and it feels like they're your fans, that you're directing them. And they told me in real life, at the time when they won that MLG Columbus Major, they said, you don't understand, bro. If we lose, they just hate on us like that and tell us to kill ourselves, etc. And that actually did blow my mind. So I was like, oh, fuck, wait, this fan base is just, they have to attack someone, basically. So if the other team loses, they're going to attack them. If you lose, they're going to attack you. There's just certain fan bases that are like, put it this way, in a way, I think obviously the shit they said to you goes way too far. in a way, it is like misguided passion, if you know what I mean, though. Because
Yes,
part of them does just care about the game a lot. The problem is, though, that's just a really antisocial way to do it. Like, come on, mate. Again, make a joke. Just say the guy sucks. Don't go into shit about people's families and that. That is obviously over the line. Come on.
Like, you should, if you actually have time, you should go onto my profiles that have been posted before the incident of Xantares' handshake, and there's like 100 gifs of just Xantares, where there's some guys just posting gifs of Xantares, like and some other comments as well. So it's kind of funny.
Oh, the classic one obviously is where it's that GTA one where you're the dog and then Xantares is holding the fucking leash or whatever. We've all had that one. I
hate this one, bro. I had this against Insani, against Mibur.
On the major, right?
Yes, and I really fucked up that game, and it's still in my head.
Right.
Like, if I think about Inferno, that's the first thing that actually comes to my mind.
Yes. No, that was a game you should have won, but someone peaked. Let's just say that. Let's just say someone peaked.
Wait, did you just?
No, I think it was him that actually peaked, but whatever.
Yeah,
someone peaked in the round and sort of fucked the game, unfortunately.
I remember the comments. I'm not gonna leave them out. I do remember. A painful
How
round,
do you...
but I mean. If we go back to that game, I could have played a lot better. Of course, he got lucky at times. He killed me through the smoke, full blind, last bullet, first bullet. But I did fuck up in the end.
How do you deal with people going after your wife, though? Because this is something that...
Pisses me off.
Because that kind of... When you mentioned that, it just shocked me because she's not necessarily equipped to handle all of this. 1. 2, she's got no say in it. But 3, I'm also well aware that, and I think maybe people don't realize this, professional players are not traveling with their wives to every event.
Sure.
A lot of the time, wives and girlfriends are at home. So these incidents are happening when you are in different countries, different time zones. And I've also seen the death threats. I've seen the rape threats. I've had them before in my DMs, which is absolutely like just shocking, and you don't really know what to do. But it's
by the way, that's
scary.
even something, Sam. People even miss that too. It's one thing that someone says something publicly. Some of these people are so nuts, they send you the DM as in they only want you to read all this evil shit. It's not even like they're doing it just for like the public. Hey, fuck this guy. They're actually trying to be like really evil to you specifically, like, hoping to ruin your fucking mind or something.
And there is a little bit of a fear, I mean, where you kind of go, well, shit. Like, so for me, I'm like, well, I'm a woman on my own in a different country. Like, I stay in this hotel. They all know where the players are staying. What happens if this weird human being pitches up? But now for someone like, for JL, for you, your wife is not there. She's at home and she's getting these threats and things. I mean, that has to live quite heavily in your brain. And then over and above that, you still have to go and compete the next day and pretend like none of this is actually getting to you.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the wife would probably hide this information before the tournament's over or until I come back because she understands how important your mental situation is.
Right.
And so she would not argue with me. She would kind of let everything slide before until the tournament finishes. And once it finishes, then she would like kind of say her side and maybe shouldn't have done that. Maybe should have shook his hand. You know how Turkish fans are and all of that stuff. So we would talk about it after the game. So it doesn't affect me there, but yeah, sometimes when you get these threats, you're kind of very aware of your surroundings. I mean, I'm aware of my surroundings most of the time. I kind of check my back, look there and there. But yeah, especially when those are happening, I'm always very aware and trying to stay in the corner of the room so I can see the whole of my space.
Okay,
I mean, like people say, I'm coming to the tournament, I'm gonna knife you.
Oh,
you can take it,
right.
You can take it as a joke,
right, sure.
but what if it's real, bro? Like, there are crazy people.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care if they go to prison for 25 years as long as he's knifed you.
No. By the way, I'll even give my version of that, which is, look, I actually do know it was literally now 11 years ago that I like trash talk Poland right the day before I went to the fucking event in Poland. And then spoiler, I know this is crazy, but a lot of Polish people didn't appreciate that and sort of wanted to get the fuck out of our country. So obviously loads of people said for a few years after that, but not that much longer. Like if I ever saw you, I'd fuck you up or whatever, right? Now, even though like years after that, I'm pretty sure at that point in time, like people don't really give a fuck anymore, like especially if they like you on camera, etc. They probably would be fine. In fact, I'm sure if I'd ever been to Poland, they'd have probably just booed me at the beginning and then just gotten on with it. It'd be like a show. But I did always tell people, since I actually had loads of other events, this is a long time ago, obviously, that I used to work, I always used to say the main reason I don't go to any events in Poland, though, is because even if 99% of people were cool, if one person just came out of the crowd and like sucker punched me, that'd suck, wouldn't it? Like it wouldn't matter everyone else being awesome and it doesn't matter, like that would fucking ruin my day. So yeah, unfortunately that is why I was just like, you know what, maybe I just don't go to Poland, which actually probably worked out for Polish fans too. So we all win on that one.
I mean, sucker punch is not the worst that can happen. I mean, I can get sucker punched. I mean, that
okay,
but like getting, like they're I know for a fact, 100%, there are people out there who wouldn't care. Like, they wouldn't care. Just
oh, you think they're not just like talking? They actually really do want to hurt you?
Yes, they wouldn't care. There are people who are insane in that way. Yeah.
I mean, by the way, I believe it. Like, that's one area where esports has gotten like a bit too big. Is we are like football and sports. Like, there are actually nutters like ultras that probably would kill you. Yeah, it's true. Yes. They could.
I think it's very easy to sort of say, oh, well, it's all online and like no one's being serious. It's not going to happen until it actually happens. Then suddenly we'll all go, oh, shit, maybe.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is a level of crazy that exists. I mean, we're laughing.
By the way,
I
don't know if you've ever seen this, but I know obviously UFC itself is fighting, but there has literally been real cases. It was even in the last few years where famous UFC fighters, either they've been like hit by a fan as they're walking out, or they've attacked a fan. Even like some fans talk shit to them, and they've just dived in the crowd, started punching people. That's real. That's happened. Like, yeah, that's like a real thing.
It is.
Wasn't it? There was that British I think he's a boxer or he's like a strong man. I can't. But there was a group of people that kept parking outside his house and making a noise. Okay. Yeah, and to get him to come out. And his kids were out there. And eventually he went out and kind of was like, "Please leave." Like, I think his wife went first. She got ignored. He then went out, and the guy was trying to like get him to hit him. Like, he wanted to get into a fight. And I realized yeah, and the whole time someone was videoing it. So I was like, what he wanted was this dude to hit him. Like, he wanted to say he got hit by the guy. And I was like, how psychotic do you have to be to park outside someone's house for hours on end to try and get a reaction out of them so you can be famous on social media, which is basically what like our generation is doing now. That is a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I could imagine someone coming up and trying to knife you at a Counter-Strike event because they think it would be funny to post on Reddit after the fact, right? Which is actually terrifying when I say it out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% sure if you gave someone, if somehow a bad person spawned next to you, he will knife you. Like, if he had the chance to be next to you and he could be on the news, oh my God, I've knifed a CS2 player, fuck him, he talked trash about the Turkish community and I've saved our community from him, I put it in his heart. And
got dark.
It's not necessarily for Turkish, but I did get a lot of deference from Turkish community, and that's why it stands out. It's just a pattern recognition.
By the way, I'll give you one little tip if you're a Turkish fan listening. If you aren't the person like that at all, you never go beyond trash talk, you actually will help people like JL feel better towards Turkish fans. If you just say something like, oh, I disagree with that completely, or actually, you know what, yeah, well, you might be our enemy, but only in the game or something like that. Stuff like that also matters. Because I know the same thing like on the analogy I was giving. If some Polish guy was like, look, I didn't like what you said, but obviously, you know, you're welcome to come to the event. I do appreciate that. Like, that in a way, like, undercuts some of the bad.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Sure.
So do you think that maybe analysts and the media need to be nicer to players and teams, JL?
What a nice loaded question there. Go on.
Nicer? Not in a way.
Kinda. Should we be less mean?
If they were nicer, for sure would have more personalities in the game, 100%. I mean, more. It's probably going to be like, you could count on one hand how many more personalities there would be. But I feel like the fans and the analysts deter actual players with interesting personalities to grow, because you get stopped in their tracks. They make like a moment where I'm not sure. For example, Snow, he's still doing quite well for
the pain gaming player he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, Duncan.
Just saying, he plays some pain gaming. That's all I'm saying.
He would He would get a lot of hate because, oh, he's 17 years old. Why would he scream like that? But he's doing it for his team. And I feel like when you're a 17-year-old, it's kind of hard to process the information that you get. Yeah. And you don't differ from the good and the bad. And you kind of read it as a fact. And that's why it probably deters a lot of young players from becoming a true version of themselves. They have to suppress their own emotions and opinions. I actually had a period like that where I would purposely avoid looking at the camera. I would purposely avoid screaming nice or nice toys, because it kind of got to me a little bit, because people used to call it fake. Oh my God, he's fake, he's looking at the camera. But then I would purposely try not to look at the camera, and that was fake. So then in the end I decided I'm just going to be myself. If I want to look at the camera, I'm going to look at the camera, because I always did it in streaming. Like, whenever I make a play or make a highlight, I would always look at the camera, and that's me. And so I stopped pretending to not be myself and looked at the camera.
By the way, do you want a cool Uno reverse card moment? if pro players didn't get so butthurt about every little comment and people picking them to lose. By the way, my favourite one is where we pick you to lose. You don't think you should lose. You lose, and you're still to us. Like, what the fuck can we... I'll tell you right now, mate, pro players getting super sensitive. Again, we won't mention names, Sam, but I know some analysts that have way spicier takes in the green room, mate, and they're shit scared. Like, a lot of them aren't Thorin, mate. They're all just got a Maui coming out and giving these crazy takes. Like, some of them just fucking... Like, the joke is... In fact, you know what? I'll even say one. Actually, that's where Yanko actually believes more in being a professional. Yanko would sometimes be like, this fucking team's dog shit. Like, they should never play like that. But he'd never say that on the desk. He'd be like, the way they played was really unstructured, you know. They should have thought more about the T side. Like, I think a lot of people are a little bit worried about the reaction. In the same for analysts as players, mate. I think also some people worry that everything's going to blow up and you're going to be hated on.
I mean, it's. I think there's a thin line between talking analytical and kind of giving a good point for the stream, and then also like crossing the line, and then you're gonna get your hate. And then you might lose your job because the public opinion about you is it's negative, and that brings you. I mean, it still brings eyes to the show, but then it kind of ruins the reputation of your tournament organizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many analysts have like sort of slid into your DMs, JL, and try or at events and try to be your friend, like and have tried to like they want to hang out with you afterwards? Zero.
Analysts don't hang out with players. Like,
so
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna reveal something. Analysts try to avoid looking into your direction when they're walking in the hallway. Like, I say hi to all of the analysts. Like, I'm kind of friendly in that way. But I've noticed when analysts are walking through other pro players, they're just going their direction. They don't care about what's going on because they know they've talked mad shit about the players.
Of course.
And that's why they don't do it.
Sure.
So it's really funny because you're obviously talking about tier 1, but I can tell you when I did some ESL challenges with tier 2 analysts, so they were like a few of them are constantly DMing players, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm trying to get information or whatever, but then they'll come on a desk and they won't say anything. They'll be very like, I mean, they'll say, oh, JL, he didn't play that well, but also sometimes he plays well. So it wasn't a great game, but sometimes it's a good game. And they do that thing. And then I had a conversation with a few of them where I was like, you have to have an opinion. And they said, yeah, but I don't want, JL and I, we've been chatting. Like, I'm using JL as an example, obviously, but, we've been chatting. I don't want him to be upset with me. Like, we're friends now. And I did wonder if that had ever happened, because it's funny, like you said, the tier 1s, they just avoid eye contact. They know that they've said some shit and they're like, well, it's my job. We just won't look at each other. We don't hang out. But I do think that there is like another breed of analyst who's like, well, I actually really love these players and I want to be their friends and I want them to like me. I don't want them to hate me. So I just can't say anything mean about them. And I have to constantly like ride the fence, if you like, because they're terrified that they're going to upset you. And maybe you're going to call them out on social media for it, which never ends well, because obviously all the fans then hate on the analyst.
And most players have way more followers. Like, it's funny because obviously us versus fans, we can be the person who's the bigger dog, but some players have like 1 million followers on Twitter. Like, it's hard to beat that. I
mean, I only have like 117 compared to your, I don't know how much you have. I know you have
more. 189, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll get there. They're all like 75 years old by now.
Listen, maybe in your PUBG career that you do after this, you'll get there, You'll probably get some fans.
Okay, but honestly, about having opinion, I had a good point. Oh my God. We were talking about...
It was about analysts like DMing people trying to be friends or being scared to say something if they like them.
I want to shout out Chad.
Sponge, right?
Yes, Sponge. Okay. He's a great guy off the camera and then on camera as well. Like, we talked with each other, like, on good terms, and then he would still go on camera and talk like real shit about the team and me. Right. I'm like, okay, he's a real guy. He doesn't just pretend to be like a good analyst or a good guy. He actually thinks that, and then he will still talk off camera. Like, he said some shit about me on the desk, and then we'll still talk normally because he's a real guy. I like him.
By the way, he also, because he used to be a pro, I can tell you, like 10 years ago, so it was in 2016, he actually famously had a thing when at the end of being a pro where he deleted his Twitter at one point, because actually he knows what it's like, mate, to get everyone hating on you. So I imagine he's very cognizant of that now when it's, like you say, he wants to feel responsible that if he trash talked, he makes sure privately, that like he still respects you or some shit, right?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think it's more about... it's really hard to put it in English. If I had like a minute to think about it, I would of course type it out.
It's all good.
I feel like he is true to himself outside the internet and inside the internet. He's always himself. He tries to be, and that's why I appreciate him about him. Yes. And I think the points that he said, like on the broadcast, he would say it in front of your face as well.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, by the way, that's what I actually meant before. I didn't really mean intimidating, by the way, in terms of like I'd fuck people. I was joking. I meant more people are intimidated to argue with me because they think like I'll go back. What people don't know is it's the same thing, JL. Oh, I've had some players come up to me and go, at the bar, you said I was shit. I was like, you are dickhead. And first of all, I'm trying to have a drink. Can you fuck off, please? Like, this isn't the time. We're not on the desk right now. By the way, do you want to know a little piece of law nobody knows though, Sam? You know how Jay, he admitted himself he had a moment of weakness with trash talk. I had my own moment of weakness. Believe it or not, this is how you know I just love CS too much, mate. During the Shanghai Major, the one where NAVI came as world #1 team and they'd been all those finals and they just won in Rio, and we're supposed to believe now, because it wasn't a fluke win, that they're going to win the Major and prove everyone wrong. Actually, when they were doing shit in the tournament and they were losing games, I actually did send an unsolicited DM to JL where I'd said some shit like, oh, come on, mate, you're a better player than this. So, you know what? It even got to me in the end. Even I broke a little bit and the mask cracked a little bit.
It was a very nice DM, actually. I actually smiled. And like, even the whole way we're going through all of this, not hatred, some banter between us, I always respected you as an analyst, like as a esports historian. Okay. I didn't know about you before 2022 because I wasn't like, into CS, but you know your stuff. And no matter what you say on the internet, it's not going to deny the fact that you understand CS and you understand players and the whole scene, so...
By the way, another thing as well, Sam, that actually gave me the clue early on, he wasn't being super serious when he was flaming me, is he would actually also, remember, Elon Musk turned that thing off years ago where public can see the likes. So, by the way, the second Elon Musk turned that off, loads of people like tweets that they wouldn't like otherwise because they know no one can see it. He would always like the tweet I made that flamed him or whatever, so I actually made it clear, he knows this is just a joke. Like, he knows it's just banter at that point in time. I think that's actually a good move if you're a pro as well. If you want to show you're not too serious, just like the tweet or something, then guy will get like, oh, I get it. Like, okay, I get it.
I mean, it's kind of hard to get pissed off your tweet. It was never personal. It was just some kind of based off of media. It was hard to get offended. Not much can offend you.
I have a question for Thorin, though, because now that we've been talking about this, I am curious. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe you have been sort of trying to banter with a pro player and you see the reactions aren't coming and you can kind of read that maybe you're starting to upset them and you've backed off? Or do you just go, nah, fuck it, and carry on?
I mean, here's the problem is if you notice, I actually don't tend to go hard on people if they've never said anything. If they just play bad in the game, I might say they played like shit, but I won't be like super personal, like attack them or something. It's more when people try to come at me. In fact, if you notice, I actually do when it's online, try to keep it like what you call tit for tat in English. Like if they go to here, I go to here. If they go to here, I don't just go straight to fucking obey, like when they say one minor thing about me. So it depends. If someone here's the thing, if someone had mega flamed me early on and then they play like shit, well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to be fucking loving it, Anna. As the Germans say, Schadenfreude. I'm going to be delicious. So I am going to enjoy that. But I know what you mean. If it was like a young player, for example, and you could tell it had like rattled them or then everyone's hating on them, yeah, I would start to feel a bit bad then. Like I'd probably back off a bit there. Or I might even just send them a DM like, look, it doesn't have to be fucking serious. Like, if you want, we could just have a truce and just fucking go on or whatever.
A truce. That's
a truce.
Crazy English word.
Yeah, piece
Look
of cards.
at that, though. So you see, Thorin isn't all evil and cruel, friends. Okay. You can pay attention to that. My next question... Yeah, what were you going to say?
I don't know how people can see him as the evil guy because he makes good points and bad points, but people somehow focus on the bad points because that's what most people care about. They focus
of course.
On the negative.
Of course.
I also think people just like to be outraged, so it's easy to just
and everyone likes outraged. A villain, mate. Everyone likes to fucking go, Voldemort. Like, you know, and by the way, as long as you have the balls for it, it can actually be quite fun to be that character. Like, I have always thought when you watch wrestling, it would be cool to be the heel guy who goes like, "You all fucking suck, you rednecks." Like, I think that'd be fucking dope. Everyone boo it. In fact, this actually happened when Big Clan made the final of ESL Cologne in 2018, when JL was like 11 or whatever. When they made that final, it was in Germany, and obviously they all thought they were going to win, right? Because they'd fucking like beat FaZe Clan, but they were playing NAVI with like Peak Simple. I just did like a massive banter before the game to the crowd where I told them, at the time, if people know this story, they used to have a thing at Cologne where they'd give out a free like wristband that would glow up and they'd be like, right, at a certain time, you know, everyone hold up your wristband. It's good. So as a joke, because I knew that, I said in the pre-game like interview, like, guys, all you big fans in the crowd, if you check under your seats, they've already put a pack of tissues for when NAVI beats the shit out of Big Clan, and they're all just booming like, boom! And that, I can't even lie, that was glorious, Sam. I was fucking just bathing in the booze, like, yes. I was like fucking Conor McGregor or something. I was loving it, mate.
Oh my God. I was going to say, I think like a lot of the time you do it for fun. I mean, sometimes you'll say something and it's a bit of an arsehole comment, but I think you know that. But I love the fact that you actually...
I am a bit of an arsehole, believe it or not.
You are a bit of an arsehole.
That's accurate.
As we come to the end of our episode, though, there is a very important question we have to ask. Because, JL, now that you have not retired, when are you going to be on an analyst desk? Because that tends to be the way it goes.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't explore the options yet. I'm going to co-stream Cologne. So I'm going to be at my desk, being at this desk. But I would actually try to come at a lower tier, not a lower tier tournament, but not like a Cologne or the Major. For me, that's a bit too much responsibility. I feel like the fans at home deserve a good show, and they don't necessarily get a good show with me. They just get a known person on the desk. So I would try to avoid the big tournaments. Maybe try myself out in like a blast tournament. Like I don't know what's the schedule right now, but there should be like a lower tournament where I could be on the desk. So. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'd love to explore the idea because that's a new way of realizing myself as a human and kind of overcoming some challenges. Because, believe it or not, I have a fear of speaking in public. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, the camera is not.
You did very well. I understood most of the things you said. Some of them made sense.
I mean, the camera is easy because that's only the three of us. But when we had the HLTV Awards, and I had a speech prepared.
Oh, because you won the award, yeah.
Yeah, closer of the year. I have it right here, actually. So I had a good speech prepared. I kind of memorized it. I learned it. I know what I want to say. And I said like about 30% of it. It was a very nice, heartfelt speech. And then...
Were you choking a bit? Were you like skipping parts out or something?
Yeah, I skipped the parts. I stuttered.
Right.
It was so bad. And then at the wedding, which is my show, like it's kind of... Everyone's here for me. And maybe that's what... gave me the pressure. I couldn't even get it out. I had I didn't have a speech prepared, but there were points that I would want to mention. But I said like half of it, and then just said, "Thank you," and I gave the mic back to the host.
Right.
Which is I really want to overcome this fear of mine.
I like that. Yeah. So come on a desk. We'll do an analyst desk with JL. Hell, we could get JL and Thorin. There's a start.
I'd have to get tied to an event first. Well, let's not get too crazy. I mean, the imagination. The joke is he'll be on an as desk for me, so I don't know about that.
Well, notice I said Star Ladder because I think that's the only tournament operator that you haven't upset yet. So we can do Star Ladder
for now.
Thorin and JL. There we go. I'd like to be hired for that.
That would be actually kind of cool. Just me and you on the desk.
Just JL and Thorin.
I'm down.
I've created a great idea.
That's actually one for the books.
I'm down. He's down. Hire him. Hire Thorin. I'd like to come along too because it was my idea.
Could call that combination Pinky in the Brain. Old school reference. Just a cartoon.
I got it.
Don't worry about it.
I got it because I'm old. But there you go. Let us know in the comments if you got it, and we'll see you soon for another episode.